Okay, again, hi everyone, it's Lisa with WholeHealthDesigns.com, and I'm not going to go into my intro again. I am finally recording, but I want to thank those of you who are live on the call. And if you're listening to this recording, I'm excited that you're going to also get all of the information that I have for you today. So, even though I am now recording this call, I would love for you to take out a notebook or journal or something. Get out a pen so that you could take some notes. I give tons of information. I try not to overwhelm, but I do give a lot of information because I want to make sure that you have that action plan that I talked about in the letters that I sent you and the menu plan and recipes. And so I want to make sure that you get all of the information. Now, don't stress about it because I am recording and you'll be able to get, obviously the information tomorrow if you miss something. And also we have a question box. Just click on the question box in the sidebar there, and you can just ask me a question, type it in, and we're going to have an FAQ at the end of our call. So everything is set. So just enjoy, soak in all of the info, and know that I'm going to be taking really good care of you tonight. So I'm not sure if you heard of Glennon from Momastery. Love her. Her blog is amazing, and she's so real and down to earth. And she mentioned this a few weeks back, and I wanted to share it with you because it kind of reminds me of us. We're busy, active people. We have a lot going on, but I really want us to kind of set the tone of our talk, because even though we're going to talk about food, talk about strategies, and I have those 5 meal planning hacks that I'm going to tell you about. This is very important for our well-being, but the most important thing is listening to our bodies and listening to what's best for us. So, Momastery says, and every day the world will drag you by the hand yelling, this is important, and then this is important, and this is important. Hey, you need to worry about this, and this, and this. And each day it's up to you to yank your hand back, put it on your heart, and say, no, this is what's important. It's nobody's job to create the lives we want but ours. You are your own builder, creator. We are reliable. We are great friends to ourselves. When you are your own friend, you're never alone. So that's going to be our job, especially during the fall season. Fall is like the new year. And Gretchen Rubin, if you ever heard of the Happiness Project or read that book, she had quoted, fall, September especially, as the new year. It's because we are primed and ready to make changes right now. Not so much, if you wouldn't believe it, but not so much in January, because in January we kind of go within and it's winter and we have a different energy. Now we have the energy to make changes, and I'm going to help you make those changes tonight. And I wanted to share that with you because I love Glennon. She's just so for real. So remember, throughout all of the talk about food and all of these strategies I'll give you, really go back to yourself and remind yourself what's important, okay? So for our webinar, the post-summer cleanup, I know that you're in the right place if the words meal planning make your eyes glaze over. The whole act is overwhelming, and it's just best to avoid it because it's just very painful. So if you're like that, and I will tell you, I was like that for a very, very long time until I got the strategies that I told you about. I'm going to tell you about tonight, but that was me to a T. You're also in the right place if you're not sure what foods to eat, how to eat them, when to eat them, in order to maximize any type of weight loss efforts, especially if you, like I mentioned before, had a little bit too much fun in the summertime and you're carrying a little bit of extra fluff in the tummy there. So, food combining, we're talking a little bit about that tonight. When to eat, what to eat is going to be very important, especially during fall. Also, you're in the right place if you partied it up. I don't even know if that's a word, but I made it up there. I don't even know if that's a word, but and you're feeling it. And a lot of the times it goes straight to our stomach. So you're ready to reboot and you're getting back to the feeling of being light again. You want that. You also want someone you trust to tell you exactly what to do. And I'm so honored that I am your person. You don't want any guessing. You're tired of Googling. You know, you might get some answers on Google and then you're back at the same spot, square one, because you're confused. There's a lot of things going around about clean eating, and I want to clear that up tonight. So we'll talk about that. You also want a plan of action. In fact, you need it. You crave it. You want a plan. You want to follow it. You're going to implement it, and that's as soon as possible. And you can definitely get, you know, obviously, if you Google, and you could Google meal plans. You could Google, you know, recipes. Definitely. But a lot of the times they either throw in butter or ingredients that are not healthy, or they claim to be healthy, and you know better because our community here, we're smart. And we know that certain ingredients shouldn't be in our food only because we're really trying to, we're really trying to live the best, healthiest lives that we can. So I want to be here for you, and I'm going to give you that plan tonight. So during our call, we're going to talk about the thing that you must avoid when it comes to clean eating. You probably know what this is, but I'm going to give you a little bit more of the specifics. This is something during our 21-day challenge, which I can't wait to tell you about also tonight. We're not going to be having this in our meals. And it's not like we're giving up something. We're going to be adding so many good things. So don't worry about that. And the good things are the fall foods. We're going to talk about the best fat-burning foods that you can start eating actually now. We're heading into autumn in a few days, especially here in the Northern Hemisphere. So we're going to be looking at some recipes to get started. And when I send you your action plan, you know, all the menu, the recipes, things like that tomorrow, you'll be able to see exactly what I'm talking about. And I'll also have them on the slides here tonight. I have 5 quick and easy meal planning hacks that I want to show you. And I love that word hack. I'm sure that you've either read Tim Ferriss or if you ever, heard that word before. It's kind of a cool word because it really is something really quick and easy to do, and it saves you so much time. So I'm going to give you 5 planning hacks. I'm going to introduce you to them tonight, and I want you to implement them in everyday life. And also, I'm going to teach you how to implement your post-summer cleanup plan. That's your bonus for coming. Thank you so, so much for signing up for the webinar tonight. So I'm really excited that I can share that with you. And really quickly, the challenge starts September 21st. Our 21 days starts on the 21st, and that's on Monday. And I want you to come with me if you're not already signed up. We're going to be eating clean for 21 days, and this is actually going to lead into the fall renewal 10-day detox. So you can click on that link there and get more information. And when you sign up, you get the 3 weeks of meal plans, the shopping list, the recipes. You'll get to be in our group with us. You'll have support from me. I'll be coaching. This program doesn't, involve any type of coaching or anything like that. But I thought it would be an amazing idea if we did this together. And you might have a goal, such as it could be that goal of rebooting after summer. Or for me, to be honest, it's kind of selfish, and I just love being with you guys, so that's probably why. I have a photo shoot that I need to do. And, I want to look and feel, kind of sexy and feel my best. So that's, one of my goals. I have to tell you. So I want to, do this with you so that we can, kind of rock out the clean life together. And I'm really excited to show you new recipes and things like that. So anywho, that's the link that you can click on anytime during our call. You can, go tonight, look through everything, and, check out the recipes and stuff like that. and what I have for you. All right. So, and even before, I'm going to get into a little bit about myself, just to, and especially for those who are new to me. I have so many new friends on the call and who signed up for the webinar. So I want to make sure that you know who I am and what I'm all about here and what we're going to be talking about tonight. And it was pretty funny. I got tons of emails lately from a lot of clients and a lot of community members saying, this is perfect timing. In fact, Susan says to me, this was a summer of bloat. This is perfect timing for the challenge. I'm a mess. I'm eating lots of carryout with a combination of lazy, crazy schedules. I probably have so much sodium in my cells, tons of hidden fat. I could feel it. If you're feeling the same way as Susan, I can totally relate also. So I want you to know we're going to be hitting all of that tonight with some strategies here. And here's what's going to happen. We will have about 35 to 40 minutes where I'll give you information and, all of tips, and you'll look at the recipes and things like that. And I'm going to take questions at the end of the call. And so we should finish in 50 minutes. Now remember, if you want to raise your hand and ask a question, all you have to do is type a question in the question box there. It's on the sidebar. And I'm going to, definitely answer you. Okay? Sound good? Okay. Now, if you're new to me, I want to tell you a little bit about me. So I own Whole Health Designs. And I've been working with clients. I've been working with thousands of beautiful people for the past 5 years in eating clean, cleansing with whole real foods, and also with juices. And so I'm mom. There's Jack there. He's going to be turning, oh God, how old is he going to be? Is he 10? Wait, I think he's turning 11. Oh goodness. He's turning 11 next week. Kate is 12. She's a middle schooler. There's my husband, Kevin. We've been married 14 years. And I will tell you, the meal planning thing is something that we'll talk about tonight. And that is something I really had to get my grip, had to get a grip on. Because if I wasn't planned, and this still happens sometimes, when, let's say you go away for the weekend and you don't get to, go grocery shopping. My grocery shopping day is on Sundays. The whole week is just a wreck because we're either going to the store for something quick or we're eating, you have to get takeout last minute because so-and-so has soccer practice. And I want to let you know that real life can really get in the way. And of course, we're going to always think back to what's important. And for me, these 3 individuals are the most important to me. So I want to make sure they're fed and I want to make sure that we're all happy and healthy. And so I know many of you have families out there. You have people that you love, communities. You have coworkers that you eat lunch with, things like that. So I want to let you know that what you're doing, especially if you even implement one of the strategies or even one of the tips that I give you tonight, it has a ripple effect. And it's pretty remarkable. So I'm just really excited that we can be all together and learn together. So that's me. Oh, and I love green juice. I drink it every morning. I love hot yoga. Stand-up paddleboard is my thing right now. I just really feel at ease on the water there. I run, bike, and swim. I'm hoping to do a triathlon again next year. And I just really, I love rap music. So that's me. I'm one of those girls, I think I saw this on Instagram somewhere, where I will listen to Big Sean, and all the swear words on my way to yoga class with my green juice in my hand. So that's me in a nutshell there. Okay, so clean eating. Let's look at what this is, because this is what clean eating over across the board will mean. Now, some people talk about clean eating with animal protein. We are not focusing on that. We are focusing on plant-based and gluten-free because we're focusing on anti-inflammatory foods. I'm not saying that anything is bad or good. Remember, when we start to label things, bad or good, labels cause issues. Labels can destroy. So we don't want to do that, but I do want to let you know that anything acidic is not clean. So we have to be very careful with that. And I'm going to go into some more details when we talk about the recipes. So if you are a person that needs to or feels like they still want to keep animal protein in their diet, maybe you're type O blood, or it's, maybe something genetically or environmentally that fits well with you, go for it. Just make sure you choose organic whenever possible, and that goes for your produce and things like that. Anything really that you're buying, even a can of beans, you want to make sure the cans are BPA free too. But what I want you to do is maybe to eat the animal protein 2 to 3 times a week at most. And the reason why is that there's a lot of research being done, and that does say that animal protein can cause chronic illness, and we really want to avoid that. Animal protein is acidic, and I'm not going to talk about it anymore, especially, I don't want to bring into the dairy and things like that, but clean eating doesn't include those products right now. So I want to make sure that you know that when it comes to your meal plans. We're going to be looking at labels. I'm going to tell you the thing that you have to avoid like the plague. So you're going to make sure that you're not going to have any of that in labels if you are buying packaged foods. We're going to stick to real food as much as possible. And of course, we're going to avoid processed and refined foods as much as possible. When you eat clean, you're going to be drinking, and you're going to be drinking that water. So drink half your body weight in ounces when it comes to water. Okay, not, margaritas, which I should have put water there now looking at that, because we could misinterpret that. So drink half a body weight in ounces every day. Okay, you're going to eat every 3 hours or so, 5 to 6 times a day. In your action plan that you're going to be getting, and in the Eat Clean meal plans, you're obviously going to be told, I tell you exactly what to eat for your breakfast, morning snack, lunch, afternoon snack, and dinner. Clean eating is also community-based, which means family, which means love. You're making your meals mainly at home. You're really using real food. Food that makes you feel good. Food that's anti-inflammatory, because the whole goal here is to try to ease inflammation as much as possible, because we want to prevent any type of illness or any type of, inflammation that we can. Okay, and it also leads to weight gain, acne, rosacea, cystitis, things that I've, suffered with in the past, fibromyalgia, all of that, autoimmune things with, your thyroid and so on. So clean eating is really going to change your life, especially when you do it on a consistent basis. And then we have the 80-20 guideline. The 80-20 guideline is mainly you eat clean 80% of the time. You do all of those things above there. And then you let go 20%. So, okay, when you drink half your body weight in ounces in water, having a margarita with your girlfriends on someone's birthday, totally cool. Having, birthday cake at that birthday party, fine. If it makes you feel good, do it. Make sure it's the best birthday cake that you can ever have. Or if you're really into chocolate, because no one wants a life without chocolate, because that will be so sad, make sure it's the best chocolate ever. Or if you're, if you love pizza and you want to eat pizza at the football game, go for it. But it becomes a problem, and it becomes very inflammatory in our cells when we do it all the time, every single day. So that's why we're saying that about 20% of the time, letting go is fine. You want to live your life. But 80% of the time, you're still living your life. In fact, your body probably prefers that. So when we say clean eating, especially with us in our group, we are focusing on that. Perfection kills. We don't want that. So we want to be very, very, very aware of that. Be careful of that. So the definition of clean eating is right there for you. You can write this down in your journal or in your notebook. This is what we're focusing on. We want to make sure that you are eating because you want to keep your metabolism boosted. You want to keep your body fueled, especially if you're active and you work out, especially if you're doing 12-hour days, like shifts. You really want to make sure that you're keeping yourself satisfied, because a lot of the times food is very, very emotional. Sometimes most of the time we hide behind our food. So it's a great idea to kind of look at yourself throughout the day and kind of decipher, is this really hunger? Or am I wanting to fill a void in something? Or am I upset? Or am I having a rough day? Or am I stressed out? Or even dehydrated. A lot of the times being, dehydrated, you get your hunger pangs. So think about that during your clean eating journey here. Okay. Now, I told you a little bit about myself, and with our clean eating, we're going to take it one step further. And I told you that we're going to be focusing on anti-inflammatory foods. And it's all based on this foundation of balance. It's hard to be in perfect balance as a human. I talk about this all the time. And if you've been with me, bear with me because you might have heard this thousands of times. But we're going to call this relative balance because as humans, we just can't control a lot of environmental factors. And things fluctuate. Things go into a cycle. There's rhythms, especially with nature, within our relationships and things like that. So things might be going great at work, and then your workouts, you're not exercising for a few weeks. Or your relationship with your partner's going super well, but then you haven't maybe seen your friends in forever. So things fluctuate, and I want to let you know, especially during our 21-day challenge, this is going to happen because you might have a day where you're just like, okay, I have to reevaluate things here. And that's okay. I want to make sure that you know that. But this is the secret sauce to anything that we're going to be talking about tonight and during the challenge and during your clean eating journey. Now, for me personally, I'll tell you really quickly, things got out of balance for me at a really, 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 really young age. Really quickly, I was 8 years old. I was going to a dance recital. I had makeup on, like the blue eyeshadow, because how old? Oh gosh, I was in the late 70s there then that was happening. So, I had the red lipstick and blue eyeshadow on. I was going to a dance recital where I had a little yellow cowgirl outfit on with pink tights and tap shoes, and I had my yellow hat, going. I was rocking all of it, and I was so excited. I was taking pictures. And someone who I adored just said, hey, you better watch it. You're getting chunky. You better watch it. And for me, when you're young and also my self-esteem was not strong at all, I did watch it and I stopped eating. And so my unhealthy relationship with food started way back then. And I'm sure many of you on the call tonight, or if you're listening to this recording, I want to make sure that we've all have our stories, and I know that, and I want to honor that. It could be something very something that you might not even remember specifically what happened, but it was a feeling that you felt. So anywho, I started to write down things that I ate, and I would only allow myself 5 things a day. So like a stick of gum, a slice of bread. I was very, very meticulous about it. But as a growing child, it never worked out where I would just end up pigging out at the end of the night because I was just famished and I was growing. So this continued for a few years. And of course, in high school, college, I did every diet in the book. Even in my 20s, I did the South Beach diet. That was the one I stuck with the most. And by the time I was 28, I was sick. As I mentioned before, I had cystitis, fibromyalgia. I was diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome. I had hypothyroidism. I was depressed, slept all the time. I had no energy. And it seemed that I had rosacea. And it seemed like whatever I did, my face would break out constantly. and I couldn't figure out why. And I started working with an acupuncturist who was very helpful. I was working with herbs. I did cranial psychotherapy, chiropractic work. I did all kinds of, alternative therapies. And over about 9 months to almost a year, I felt tons better, but there was still a missing link. And that missing link was my food. So I started to kind of document what I was eating and what triggered a flare up, especially with my cystitis. That was a big problem with me. I was actually seeing a urologist before I started the alternative therapies, and he was going to do an operation. And I went, oh, no, we're not going to do that. I'm too young. That's crazy pants. So I really, really had to get that in check. And I noticed that certain foods, and it's actually the food that I'll talk about tonight that we need to avoid like the plague, was a big, big part of it. I had a lot of yeast things going on with candida and so on. And it wasn't until I looked at my food that I found that missing link and things started to come together, especially for my health. So, balance. It was, like I said, until I got to the food and started eating clean, and the clean eating that I talked about on the previous slide, that I started to feel much better. And I am now 46 and I have no symptoms, none of any of the ailments that I used to have. Now, this took some time, granted, and I'm still working on it. This is a work in progress. The more I started to listen to my body and find that balance, or that relative balance, the more I started to heal. And I want this for you too. So that's why I'm sharing everything with you tonight as much as I can. So balance. You're looking at this chart here. Have you seen this in a biology class before or any type of science class? We're not going to bring out the beakers or anything like that, but this chart is really extremely important. Because remember, the more acidic you become, and this happens over time, and the number one cause of that, the acidic properties in your cells, is stress. So we're going to talk about the food, but remember, we're going to bring it back to the heart and bring it back to what matters most to you. And we want to make sure that you're managing your stress as much as possible. This is going to trigger all the market, and you can test yourself. Usually urinating is the best way, and it's the second time you urinate in the morning, and that's the best reading that you'll get. You could buy them off of Amazon if you want. And, really, they're called pH strips. So there's really no brand that's better than the other. And you could definitely, in the question box, ask me any type of specifics, or I can definitely email you guys tomorrow with some ideas if you need it. But basically, you can test yourself to see, how things are going. It's kind of like a little reading in your body there, like a little, I don't want to call it a horoscope. What can I call it? Okay, I'll think of a better word in a minute. It's slipping me now. But it's definitely giving you an insight to what's going on in your body, in your cells. So we want that balance on a physical level, on a primal level. Our bodies love us so much. Our bodies breathe for us without us knowing, pump blood for us without us knowing. So our bodies work hard to keep us at optimal health. But when you become more acidic and inflamed, it leads to inflammation, and over time it does lead to chronic disease like cancer and high blood pressure, diabetes, We really, 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 really want to prevent that because clean eating is actually cheap, believe it or not. It's much cheaper than paying for medical bills. So keep that in the back of your mind as we talk about the menu and things like that later on. But right now, for balance, we not only want it physically, we also strive for balance in nature. And now, I'm not sure if you could feel it. A couple weeks ago, I was really sad about summer. And sometimes, actually, well, actually, today I'm sad about summer too, leaving. I kind of miss the pool and I miss the beach. And I had such a great time this summer, especially with my kids. And I just didn't want it to end and I kind of felt blue. But now it's starting to get to the point where I'm starting to feel like, all right, time to take action, time to follow through. I made these goals at the beginning of the year. It's time to see things through. And this is the perfect time. You might be feeling that right now. Nature's starting to bring us the pumpkins and the squash, certain foods that have beta carotene in them. And how remarkable is that? Because beta carotene is going to protect our lungs. And our lungs, obviously, cold and flu season is coming up. It's like nature's like, hey, here you go. I'm going to help you. And so we love that rhythm. We love that rhythm. We tend to eat warmer soups during the fall and the winter time, but more raw juices and smoothies in the summer. That's just how, this is how it goes. So it's really exciting to know that our craving to be in balance is supported by nature. So I just think it's remarkable. It's just amazing. We want balance within each other, with our relationships and, globally. So this word balance here, that relative balance that we are striving for, is going to be the foundation of everything that I'm going to be talking about tonight. It's going to be the foundation of everything that you're going to be working on with your clean eating. It's going to be the foundation of everything how you're going to live your life, to be honest, because we really, and my goal for you, my dream for you is to live a life with ease, right? We don't want to have any type of inflammation, and we want to make sure that we're living a good life. So that said, I really want you to tap into how you want to feel. Even though, during this conversation that we're having, I want to make sure that you're probably like, Lisa, okay, I know you, and even if you don't know me, I do talk a little woohoo sometimes because it's so important, because everything that we talk about here is very holistic, and it's very it's a big part of what we're going to be doing here with clean eating. So why do we want to do this again besides preventing disease? Well, we want to maintain a healthy weight, and it's so easy to do when you just kick out the processed foods. So that's a big benefit. Feeling less bloated, having amazing energy, all day energy, looking younger, believe it or not, yes. The thing that you need to avoid, like the plague, which I'll be getting into in a second, makes you look old, and we don't like that. It gives you wrinkles. It's not good. So we want to make sure eating clean, we're going to be doing that to be looking younger. Those who eat clean have a healthier sex life. There's tons of research on that. I've actually been looking into that a lot more because I know that juicing also definitely helps with this, a great sex life. And I want to make sure that, we bring that into the balance there. the way I view eating. And, you know, sugar, lots of processed foods, animal protein, things like that. We really want to keep, you know, we really want to keep that in check. But it's the sugar. We just don't even need sugar at all. And I'm talking the processed sugar, like Splenda, high fructose corn syrup, anything with the OSE on the end in the label, like dextrose, sucrose. Sometimes they put star sugar because they're not going to tell you anymore what kind of sugar it is. So look at your labels. It's a part of clean eating there. Also, the sugar, even if you're buying something with non-fat or it says low sugar, look at the ingredients because there's lots of hidden yucky ingredients in those labels there, in those foods. So again, watch with the OSE words like the sucrose, dextrose. And also, I'm actually going to send you a list. I'm going to make myself a note of that. I'm going to send you a list of all the sugar words that we need to avoid in the labels because I don't want to take too much time with that. In fact, it's already, you know, we've been talking for a while here, so I want to, I'll send you a list of that so that you can check your labels. You're tired, you're overwhelmed because sugar feeds the stress. And this is Pam Williams. She's a clean and sexy community member. She's been with me for years, and she's just a superstar. And you could read her Facebook post that she posted a little while back. She lost 24 pounds. Now she's doing it easy, consistently with her clean eating. She mentions that she's doing some juices. If you're new to juicing, you might not want to do that, but if you do, that's really helpful, especially with curbing with cravings. And that's how much sugar. Isn't that amazing? So she lost all of that so far. I want to make sure that, you know, you look at this, look at Pam here, because since January, she's been making all these changes. And I know with the clean eating, that can be, you know, a great thing, a great goal, especially with the sugar. So, all right, fall fat burning foods. So your apples. Now apples, of course, they're a great fall food, and you probably knew I was going to be talking about apples, but I don't want you to ditch the peel. Eat the peel because there are many studies linked to the skin, which can actually help one to lose weight. You know, eating apples can help you shed, you know, some pounds, especially if you do apple with almond butter for a snack. So that is something I want you to, you know, try in your clean eating plans. And I definitely have that for you when we look at your menu plan. Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts, you know, just a cup. It's a superfood, actually. I just think it's amazing. It has 4 grams of fiber, and it's more than a day's worth of vitamin C. So it's great. And when there's vitamin C in your blood, you know, it actually helps burn fat. So the less weight you're going to be carrying around there. Butternut squash, even after it's baked, it's about 88% water. So it fills you up a lot quicker. It's also a great source of fiber. And any food with fiber in it, it's going to be a great fat burning food. Pumpkin seeds, you can throw these on a salad. You could toast them. Actually, I love doing that. And you could spread them on top of a nice warm soup. So pumpkin seeds are ideal combination of protein. They have healthy fat, and they've got the fiber again. And so your body's going to digest these nutrients slowly, which is going to keep you full and keeps your blood sugar, you know, steady. And then the last one are the beets. So the beets are packed full of flavor. I hope that you start to, you know, if that's not your thing, I really want you to try them, even cooked beets to start with. Now they have lots of phytonutrients and they're very detoxifying. So beets boost your metabolism, and that's a great way to burn fat. So write these five foods down, and when you're doing your eating, try to incorporate these in your meals. And so we're going to be putting it all together in a second. I want to tell you really quickly my 5 meal planning hacks. You have to do it. Planning equals success. And you know, this is one of the biggest hacks, only because it's the first thing that we forget to do or we don't want to do, and that keeps us stuck. And when you're doing your planning date, I want you to plan for 2 weeks. So even though you're meeting with yourself, or it could be with a partner or a loved one or a friend, it could just be with your calendar, I want you to plan for 2 weeks, because this will help you see the bigger picture. I want you to look at what's happening during the nights. Do you have, you know, like I said, there's soccer practices. Jack has soccer practice now for 3 nights, I think, a week, which is a lot. So I have to make sure that we have things set. We might do leftovers on that night. In fact, Wednesdays are usually leftover night because he just doesn't get home till about, you know, 8:30, 9 o'clock. Okay, you're going to double recipes and you're going to freeze. Okay, and I have some notes on this that I want to make sure that you know about. All right. So what I like to do, actually, when I cook soups, I do this. I double the recipes. Sometimes I triple the recipes and I freeze them in like really cool glass containers. And, you know, the glass lock are my favorite. I would try to do that at least for maybe 2 soups and see how it goes. You'll get your plan. Like I said, we're going to show you that in a minute. I want to make sure that, you know, you could either do soups. You can also do jars. And salad jars are my favorite. Okay, and I'm going to show you a picture of that. This is Kristen's salad jars. So what you do is you put the dressing on the bottom, and you can throw in the vegetables, quinoa, nuts, seeds, chickpeas, and then you put your greens on the top. That's probably the best way to layer it if you want. Make a bunch of these. I make at least 4 to 5 of these a week, and I just do, that's my lunch. So you can do this with smoothies too. Smoothies could be your breakfast. You can make smoothie jars. You can either make them ahead of time and freeze them, or actually put the ingredients, the whole ingredients in the jar and freeze them, and then maybe take, you know, the smoothie jar out the night before and then blend it in the morning. So jars are huge. And then my last meal planning hack, you can use an app. If you're an app person, if you're always on your phone, there's actually an app, and let me see if I can find the name of it. Oh goodness, I had it here with me. Please bear with me here. It's slipping me. Well, this app is pretty cool because what you do is you put in your recipes and it spits out your shopping list for you. And I'm sure I'm going to think of it when the webinar is over. But I'll also get that to you in your letter. I'm sorry, but oh, here it is. It's called Plan to Eat. And there's also Cook Smarts. So Cook Smarts is also a great one. Now, these might cost money. I think maybe like the first 30 days might be free. So check it out and see if that's something you want to invest in. So for your hacks, I want to make sure that, the jars can be a big part of that prepping time, doubling up recipes there, making smoothies ahead of time. Those are things that saved me. I'm definitely doing much better with meal planning, just because those things are something that I do on Sundays. Remember, pick your day, and I do it for the week. And when I'm planning, I do look at 2 weeks out, and I want to make sure that I have recipes that I like, that I'm going to want to eat, obviously. And if you have a family, you want to make sure about that too. And you double, triple the recipes. And that's going to be huge for you. Okay, so we're going to put it all together. So clean eating, as we talked about, we're working with anti-inflammatory foods. We're working with foods that help you burn fat during the fall time, or actually just support your system, because you really want to protect yourself, for cold and flu season coming up. In fact, today I had to pick up Kate from school because she was sick, and she's got hit with the flu already, and it's only September 17th. So we really, really want to protect ourselves against that. There. So here's an example day. Here's what you're going to be getting in your PDF. You're going to have to start your day oatmeal. And I love this oatmeal. It's so yummy. This oatmeal has cranberries in it. You can do some almond milk, some good protein. Oatmeal obviously has protein. It's gluten-free. And then we have a sweet and silky green smoothie. Your spinach pear salad. You can make a salad jar. Have that, this salad is just so delicious. Cucumber slices with red pepper hummus. You got the good protein there with the hummus, the good carb, which is your cucumber slices. And we spice it up with some red pepper. A good fat is the oil from the hummus there. And then we have roasted butternut squash with quinoa. So that whole day is going to get you all you need with your nutrients. We're mixing it up so that you don't get bored. And we're using a lot of the fat-burning foods that I talked about. And when you get the recipes, you're going to see more details about that. Now let's talk a little bit quickly about the meal plan. And, in that meal plan that you're going to be getting, it's going to have your shopping list also. So it's a sample plan. Remember that. It's actually not even a sample plan. It's actually one of the days of the Eat Clean Challenge. And this is Billy. She's one of our community members, and she's been doing Eat Clean 21. She's gotten the program, and she's just loving it. And you could read, a little bit more while I'm talking there, but really, it's just amazing how her hubby is also benefiting from this. So, as I mentioned before, you're going to be doing your thing. You're going to be eating clean. You're going to be drinking your water. You're going to be looking at labels. Those around you, especially the people that you love, might question you at first or might not understand. They're watching, and they're going to want what you have, believe it or not, in time. So, as Billy says, the best part of our program, or the most helpful part, is the shopping list, and that's going to be really key for you. Because remember, we're not doing anything with guesswork. We don't want to be Googling anymore. So that's something that we're going to be, focusing on for our clean eating efforts. Okay? Now, I'm really excited because we have the challenge coming up. It's happening on Monday. I hope that you're signed up. And if you're not, totally email me at lisa@wholehealthdesigns.com if you have any questions about this. But if you go to the Eat Clean 21 day link there, you're going to find out more about this program. I have 100 recipes. Everything's listed, as I told you about, with the morning breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner. Everything's listed. We are avoiding anti-inflammatory foods. All the recipes are 30 minutes or less to cook. Sometimes it's really like 4 minutes, or maybe even 2 minutes. And there's lots of quinoa, fruits, veggie, dark leafy greens, lentils. You'll be eating some soups. We're going to be really focusing on those fall foods that I told you about. And you'll have 3 weeks of menu plans. So you'll have all of that set for you. The done for you menu plans are really, really key. And remember, of course, you probably can get something, maybe something downloaded from Pinterest. There's lots of people out there that, provide meal plans and things like that, which is wonderful because I think we're all in this to feel better and to feel great in our skin. But I want you to be careful, and I'm really excited about the Eat Clean 21 meal plans because they're different. Every ingredient has been tested in my kitchen. There are recipes that are mine, and they really do a great combination for each meal, even your snacks, of a good protein, a good carb, and a good fat. And when I say carb, I mean a fruit or vegetable. Sometimes you'll have quinoa. So you want to make sure, even when you're practicing with your, the plan that I'm going to give you, probably tomorrow in your follow-up call, email letter, I really want you to start building that and start eating every 3 hours or so that you can start to eat clean and your body's going to be starting to notice all of those benefits that we talked about glowing, feeling better in the kitchen, losing that summer bloat that Susan was talking about, and most of all, just feeling good in our skin. So it's truly amazing how this happens with consistency and with support. And of course, you'll have support from the group. There's hundreds of people already in the group, and we're signing up everybody to go into a Facebook group, and I know more will start to be joining that and asking questions, which they're already doing, and I'll be there to coach you. So if you have a question about tweaking a recipe, or hey, I have Hashimoto's disease, what do? I can't eat certain greens. I'll be able to help you with that, and we'll be able to tweak certain things so that this works for you. Okay, so I'm going to take a few questions, and there's the link if you want to check out more information. I hope you join me. We start in a few days. I'm just so excited. All right, so questions. Okay, yay. Okay, I'm going to go back to the beginning here, and we have some, so. Oh, goodness, I hope I'm not still cutting in and out. No sound. You are breaking up. No sound. Oh, no. Okay. Hopefully this is working. Yay. Okay. So what size jars, Karen wants to know, for the salad jars? So okay. Hopefully, can you guys hear me now? Goodness, we're having some technical things here going on. Oh, dear. Okay. Oh, good. You can hear me now. Great, great. All right. So a farm supply store, they sell them pretty cheap. Target sells them cheap. I found them at Kmart, but they kind of cost, they're too much. I wouldn't go to Kmart, but if you're desperate, you can go to Kmart. And also, I mean, really, technically, you can get them anywhere. They sell canning goods, but they're 32 ounces. Into them, and they save me. Now for the smoothies, I only do 16 ounces, and that's what I do for my smoothies. All right, so any other questions? Oh my goodness. Yes, you can purchase the book of recipes. You can definitely do that. You don't have to do the challenge if you don't want to. We're just doing a challenge to hang out. So you can join the challenge. A lot of people had bought Eat Clean 21 a few months ago when the product came out, and they're more than welcome. I invited them to come, and some people are coming and some people aren't. So you don't have to do that. Some of us are just joining the group just so that they get some extra support in case they have a question about a recipe or if they want to tweak something. Okay. So that was a great question there. Okay, let me see. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you all for being here, and thank you for bearing with me with this technology stuff. I'm glad that you're joining me because it really makes me vulnerable because technology for me, for one thing, I've learned so much in the past 5 years with having my business and doing a lot of webinars and workshops and stuff like that. But I tell you, technology can be something. All right. So Suzanne wants to know what foods to avoid if you have thyroid issues. Now, this is specific to each and every person. And I'll be giving a lot more information during the 21-day challenge. And actually, you know, even if you're not in the challenge and you're just buying the product and you want to do the meal plans, or if you're buying the product and you're adding on the fall renewal cleanse, which I think is an amazing idea because it's so, you know, such a great deal. You're definitely going to be avoiding soy. And I hate to say that because soy used to be such a great food, but we Americans took that nice soybean, the nice miso soup, things like that, and have genetically modified it here in the States. Not so much in Canada and, you know, not so much in all of North America because we have lots of Canadian lovelies with us. And we have a lot of friends that, you know, we even have friends in Costa Rica that are joining us. But when I talk about genetically modified foods, we Americans have done that, and so we're not getting that nice miso soup that we would get in the East. So soy is going to be a big thing. There's certain, you know, you got to watch when it comes to the kale and the spinach. It's good to rotate them. You'll see in the recipes that one day you'll be eating some spinach and the next day you might be doing kale. You know, we kind of switch off and on. What I would do is definitely talk with your doctor. I have not had any doctors yet say don't eat dark leafy greens, but there's lots of controversy when you're doing it every day. So I want you to be careful with that. Those are the 3 things that I would definitely take note of. If you want more specifics, would you do me a favor and email me at lisa@wholehealthdesigns.com and tell me a little bit more about your situation so that I can advise appropriately. I also have, you know, general ideas, which I will, you know, make my note there. I'm going to talk about what you can, you know, what you should be eating with any type of thyroid issues and what you should be avoiding. So I'm writing myself a note to do that. So I make sure that you're taken care of there. So that's an amazing, amazing question. Okay, I'll be traveling next week. Can I begin the following week? Oh yeah, heck yeah, definitely. Even in our cleanses, people start like 2 weeks later or 3 days later. It's because you got to do it when you got to do it, right? And I'm going to be here no matter what, to help you and support you and to tweak anything that you need. And the community, we have such a loving community, such a supportive, strong community, which we're going to, you know, definitely hold you accountable if you want that. You can definitely start anytime. You know, make this your own. Remember, we're going back to our heart. We're not going to go into the pressure here of being perfect. So yes, please, please start with us. You can definitely start. There are a few women actually starting at the end of September just because they're on vacations and they have a work trip. So, all right, Linda wants to know, hi, Lisa. Oh, it's Linda. Hi, Linda. I wonder if my activity level is less one day, should I skip a snack? You know what? I don't advise that at all because when we start skipping meals, your metabolism, you know, will slow down no matter what, even if you're not as active that day. You might want to look at what your, you know, what your snacks are. So let's say you're really, you know, you're working out, and I know, Linda, you do Bikram. So let's say you do your Bikram class, which is 90 minutes. I would, you know, I would still eat the apple that we talked about, great fat burning food there. Throw on some of that nut butter, and that will be great. Now, let's say you don't go to yoga, but you do a walk instead, and the walk is a half an hour. You know, you might want to do half an apple if you want, or you might want to stick to vegetables and the hummus. So what I would do is I would email me specifically about, your workout level, and let me know, what types of workout, because when you say you might not be working out as much, to me that could be totally different than what you might, what it means to you and what it might mean to your friend. So I really need to know what you mean by activity level. So you could either write it in the question box here, or you can, let me look at the time. I'm talking and talking and talking. So definitely email me at lisa@wholehealthdesigns.com. That's my private email, and I want you to, I want to answer that for you specifically. But whenever you're working out, definitely you don't want to skip anything. Skipping leads to your body getting into a fight or flight mode. The cortisol levels rise. Your body does not know, hey, I didn't do my full workout today. Your body thinks you're in trouble. Your body is panicked. Your body is stressed. Therefore, it's going to hold on to every ounce of fat that it can to protect you, because it doesn't really realize, it's very primal. It doesn't realize that you skipped a workout. It just thinks that you're in danger. So let's not mess with that. We really want to keep things going with eating every 3 hours if we can. Okay. All right. Where do we purchase the book? So go to that link, and that'll take you to the plans right there. You're welcome, Suzanne. I love you. Is fiber a problem? Okay. Oh, this cut out there. Okay, hold on. So how do you overcome the challenge of the rest of the family eating meat and processed sugar? All right, this is where the group's going to be really helpful, because a lot of us deal with the same thing. My husband's favorite food is pizza. In fact, he doesn't eat fruits or vegetables. So not great for my career, huh? But he is good for my career, because he's actually juicing and he's doing smoothies. And he's even trying some, he made lentil soup, and he's trying some things, but this took years. So here's what I say to that. It's going to be a bit of a challenge, especially if you don't talk to them first and say, listen, I'm on this task, this mission to feel good, and I have some goals, and I know it's going to take me some time, but I have 21 days, or you can even make it 30 days, or you can make it just 10 days, whatever you want to do. I want to see if I can start eating cleaner, and I would love for you to join me. Remember, this is also for their own good too. They might not know it, especially if they're meat eaters. There's a big controversy with meat. There's a lot of misinformation out there. We don't need to be eating meat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. As North Americans, a lot of us eat, bacon and eggs for breakfast, then we'll have a chicken salad for lunch, and then we do a steak dinner all in one day. And then we repeat the next day with chicken, and for dinner we might have shrimp for lunch. That's just too much acidity in your cells. So what I would do is I would look at the menu plans, and I would start to think about ways to add something. So there's like gluten-free pizza there. Maybe you might want to bake some chicken and make some strips and throw in some chicken on that piece of pizza, okay, or on that pizza. So there's ways that we can incorporate the animal protein. I just want to let you know that we are doing as much as we can to lessen inflammation. So we want to be really careful with that. So what I would do is get the plans, and I want you to email me, or you write on the form, or however you want to get in touch with me, and say, hey, Lisa, I'm thinking of this menu plan, and I really am going to make this. So how can I incorporate some animal protein with it? Okay, so hopefully I answered your question with that. That's an interesting one, especially when the processed sugar thing. A lot of the times, you might have to be like, I'm not buying that. But it's hard, right? Especially if you're going to overhaul everyone's habits all at once. That's kind of hard. So what I would do is I would start to kind of wean off of that, especially with the family. So let's say you're baking. You might want to use, actually, stevia is not the best with baking, but you might want to substitute stevia for that, for cane sugar. Or you might want to use molasses or maple syrup, some natural sweeteners. I actually, on my site, if you look under the resources section on my site, I have actually a list of all kinds of natural sweeteners you could try. And you could download that. It's free. You can just download it and start to substitute. You'll even see in your menu plans, we don't do tons of stuff with sugar, but we do add some natural sugar in them. And that should help. And I think, Kristen, that's a great question, and we're going to address that even more. Okay. So do you use the products in multiple recipes? Yes, we do. I'd make it, like, let's say you're doing quinoa. I make sure that you're doing quinoa during that week and not just doing it once, so that you bought quinoa and then you don't, I mean, although with quinoa, that's just different. You could use that any old time. It stays forever in your jar there. But even with the greens, if we're doing spinach, you'll be doing spinach. We are alternating, but we're going to make sure that we have meals with certain ingredients in them for that week. I made very sure of that. Okay, Linda's going to send me an email. Thank you, Linda, because it's cutting out there. And I think that's all of our questions. And again, I am so excited that we got to chat. I know I gave you some information. Hopefully you took notes, and I'm going to make sure that this recording is, sent to you if you need it again. And I hope that you join the 21-day challenge. And even if you just want the recipes, I would just be so honored, because I know this would definitely bring you to your health goals. Again, I'm going to leave you with a quote. This was said by my friend Robin. She's intuitive and she's so smart. Sometimes she says things and I'm just like, oh my God, that makes sense. I want you to treat yourself like you are sacred, because you are. You are your best friend. You know what's good for you. Your body knows everything about you. Please listen. You'll be, eating clean. You'll be able to clean the clutter in your cells. You'll be able to, find out even more what's true for you and what that relative balance means for you. And again, I'm just really excited that we got to talk tonight. Thank you so much for being here with me. Let me know if you have any questions at all. I've said my email a few times, but I want to say it one more time. It's lisa@wholehealthdesigns.com. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening, and I hope I get to see you for the challenge. Bye-bye.